Hi, I'm Brooke.
And I'm Hope.
And this is the Bookish and Bubbly podcast.
Hey everyone.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to a special episode of the pod. We're so excited because Emily Henry released her new book, Funny Stories. So we had to read it as fast as we could.
Literally speed reading.
So that we could do an episode on it. We're so excited.
Guess what?
What?
I looked this morning for a funny story podcast.
Okay.
On Spotify.
Yeah.
And Apple. Couldn't find any.
Are we going to be the first?
We might be the first, so I've got to edit
you better
the
get on
shit
this.
out of this.
You better get on it.
Yeah, we both pre-ordered it and got it Wednesday? That is
correct.
Loud. Everybody.
Disclaimer.
Yes, disclaimer. We are at my house. I mean, as always. But Manager Mitchell is currently, building a wall upstairs.
What a guy.
What a guy. Mr. Gorbachev, build the wall. And anyways, so you're going to be hearing construction noises, and it's just going to be a part of this episode. Obviously,
Gives it a little extra.
Ooh, oomph. Right? I will try to edit out as much as I can, but obviously sometimes it's just going to be there.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I'm so excited for the wall, though.
We're having an exciting day over here. I walked in. Brooke's house is decorated with birthday decorations because we're celebrating my birthday today.
Yay! Only well over a month later.
That's okay.
It's A-okay.
Yeah, I think there's fun things in store for today.
Well, you know of some of the things.
Yes. We get to watch the Taylor Swift tour together. And we all have our own era, so we all have to make drinks for it, and we'll talk about it later. But it's gonna be so much fun. And we just all get to hang out all day.
And we're gonna surprise Megan with a lot of some extra drinks, which she doesn't know about. But by the time that she hears this, she'll know.
It's like a little sneak attack. Give you a little buzz.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. It was just so fun. We each drew names out of a hat. Literally,
yes.
We drew names out of a hat. You got Speak Now.
Yeah.
I got Midnights, and Megan got Lover. And so we're each gonna dress like that, which the weather is a little bit playing. Yeah. It's not great.
Because we wanted to do loungy.
Yeah, and it's hot. It's 80 degrees right now, which is random because it was so cold 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Okay. But it's fine. It's fine. It's going to be great. I just love it. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. But yeah, we have themed drinks and outfits for the day. Mm-hmm. And we can tell you more about it next time. Because after we do the activities.
Activities. Ooh.
Also, if there's anyone out there who lives in Central Ohio that has read ACOTAR, I feel like we should have an ACOTAR Cards Against Humanity night.
Please.
Because we don't know anybody who's read it.
A bunch of people at my work have read it.
Okay. Well, let's just have a night. And if you live in Central Ohio and you've read them and you like them, Hope got me that game for my birthday.
Yes. How many people do we need?
I feel like at least 3, but for Cards Against Humanity, you want options.
Sydney, I know, has read it, and so
Perfect.
She loves it, so we could definitely get her on board.
Yes.
I'll have to think of who else I've talked to about this.
Okay.
Did Liv read it? Not
yet. She read the first 2, but she finished Mist and Fury the day before her brother's wedding. It was way too stressful.
Okay.
And so I don't think she fully grasped it.
You better go back, girl.
I know. She
it.
Went and just...
Are we under attack, or are you getting a wall? The world may never know.
She dove into Throne of Glass because Vince got her this huge sealed box set for her birthday or Christmas, and it's beautiful. It's it's more of a black and white. I think I like my colors better, but it looks so cool together. And on the spines all lined up, it's all a cool picture.
That's awesome.
I know. So she's on that, and she's actually on the 3rd book already. So she's going through that faster. And I honestly think she'd probably like Throne of Glass better. Okay. Because it's more adventure and journey based rather than romance based. Although there is romance.
Okay. love when people give books as gifts. I feel like that needs to be just more of that. More. When somebody hands me a book and they're like, I thought of you and wanted to give you this, I think you should read it. I was like, every time. That means so much to me.
Except when the book has cancer in it.
Correct.
So sorry. And remember, I adjusted. Now I look it up.
Oh my gosh. It's fine.
No.
It's fine.
That sucks though.
It's fine.
I still forgot about the last song. Can't believe I loved that movie. I can't believe I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. Oh
no, it's fine.
Crazy.
Yes.
Anyways.
Okay, should we get into it? Because I've got a lot to say.
Yes. Okay. I also wanted to say, I read this book so fast.
Same. One night.
Yeah. Okay. Hope read it in one night, which is so insane. I don't know how you do this. I truly don't. You read like 100 words a minute or something. Like you read
think
fast.
though, like I do read fast when I'm reading. If I like it, and honestly with anything, I get fully sucked in. Like when I've gone to like coffee shops before and stuff, once I start reading and get into it, I don't know anything of what is going on around me. I just awesome. Like go into the book.
I love it.
And I love that feeling. So I feel like for me, like because I don't have kids, so I can just like fully dive in and I get like sucked into it, and then I'm like just in it.
Yeah.
Amazon is here. What do we get?
I don't remember. Okay, speaking of deliveries, I walked in today after dropping the kids off, and Mitchell had opened my Temu package, and all my stuff was on the front, right, sitting on the island, and I was like, I'm busted.
No.
But I got a bunch of phone cases and stuff, and then little cow slippers for Nora. She's gonna love it.
Can we do a Temu haul?
Do you want to do a Temu haul?
Yeah, I want to see.
Okay, I'll do it off air since it's not very exciting for audio listeners.
Yeah. Back about Temu, I've never ordered anything off there.
I probably wouldn't do it because I think they're supposed to be hacking everything, but I don't really care. As long as they don't hack my like bank account or like my identity, I truly do not care if they hack into all my stuff. I have nothing to hide. No. I don't care if they look at me through the camera and see me staring down with my double chin. I don't care. You know?
I'm sure that's all they see, those like.
It's horrible footage. Yeah. So, yes, I was busted. I mean, he didn't care, but it was like, busted. Gotta hide my orders.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's observant. When I try to like hide stuff around the house that I've bought, like at the thrift store, he'd be like, "That's a nice new plant stand you got there." And I was like, "What? How did you notice that?"
We're being robbed. Somebody brought stuff in.
Yes. But yeah, they're nice robbers.
They bring you stuff. They don't take away. It's like the Goodwill fairies.
Speaking of freaking Goodwill. Terry, if you're listening, shout out to you.
Or Terry's partner.
We still don't know your name.
I don't know the name.
What should we call her?
I'm not sure.
Terry and
Carrie.
Okay, yeah. Carrie. Terry and Carrie. We love it.
I love Terry so much.
Should we tell them who he is?
Did we already?
I don't think so.
Okay, Terry works at Goodwill.
Yes.
And every time we go to Goodwill, we see him and we say, "How you doing, Terry?" And he said, "I'm awful as usual." Yes. Every time. It's like our thing. Then we talk about anything. And Terry, he is so kind, and he's also really funny.
He's very funny.
Yeah. So we've seen him probably 3 times together?
I've only seen him twice.
Twice.
3 times.
Well, I went yesterday to get something for today.
Ooh.
And Terry was there. And so I walk up and I'm like, Terry! And he's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Good. How are you?" "Awful." I'm like, "Okay, this is our thing." And so then we start talking about books.
And he said, "Where's your sidekick?"
Yep. We start talking about books. And then he tells me his partner loves to read. And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, Terry. We love to read." Mm-hmm. And he was saying she read like 140 books last year. And I was like, "You are kidding me." And I'm like, "Terry, me and my sidekick, we have a podcast." And he ripped off a piece of the receipt paper and slid it over. And he was like, "Write your podcast name down."
Like,
yes!
Here's my number.
Yes. And he's like, "Write it down." So I wrote it down. And I was like, Terry, you can't laugh at the name. And he was like, I don't laugh.
I love
And then he read it and he laughed. And he's like, Bookish and Bubbly. And I was like, it's because we like alcohol.
And we're bubbly.
So I hope that Terry and partner are listening.
And enjoying.
Also, Terry, do you want to come on the podcast?
Yeah, we did think about that. I think we should have you on.
Would love you to come on the podcast.
I agree.
We can talk about anything.
Literally anything. So this is your formal invitation, Terry.
And we'll see you next week at Goodwill.
Oh, I think that's so fun. You know what I thought of?
What?
We should make stickers.
Yes.
And then put them everywhere.
We talked about this before.
Oh, did we? Okay.
And we looked it up, and then we decided not to do it.
We did. I remember this.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
And start putting them everywhere.
I also want to redo our logo.
Okay.
And I want a cute picture of us.
I do too.
Yeah.
We just have to get a cute picture of us.
I know. Maybe today. Maybe we'll get one today.
Maybe.
I feel like we need a stylized photo shoot.
Yeah. We'll put that on the list.
And then when it's just us on it, it'll be a picture of us. And when it's us and Megan, we'll do a picture of the three of us.
Yes.
How cute is that?
No, that's really cute. We got to make that happen.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay,
cool.
Let's talk about this.
Should we get to the book?
Hell yeah.
Okay. First off, can we talk about the cover?
We just were saying this.
Yes. Emily Henry, whoever designs her covers are amazing.
Amazing.
The colors, they are so happy. They make you feel things. Yeah. And somehow I feel like they go with the book every time. And I can't explain why, but I just feel it, you know?
The color.
Yes.
Yeah. They're just really bold and grab your eye.
Yes.
I know that she's been redoing some of them too.
I don't like that.
I don't love the other ones as much because these just grab your attention.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm normally more of like a muted colors person just in general, like life. For the books, it just grabs your attention. Like ACOTAR, I like that they're all neon colors. Yes. I think that's fun.
And it looks so pretty on a bookshelf.
It does. It does. I love it. And this one, the spine has like little lemons on it.
Yes,
which is
I
really
liked that
sweet.
too. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. Where do the lemons come in?
I was going to ask you that.
Was it at the lavender farm? Were they drinking like lavender lemonade? And I missed it somehow?
Maybe.
I was focused on some other things at the lavender farm. I could go look it up right now. Blueberry lavender lemonade.
Okay.
That's why.
It's also just like happy and like
it is. I just thought it had some significance, and I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's just cute, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
What'd you rate the book?
I still don't know.
I don't either.
I feel like I'm between a 3 and a 4.
Yes.
You too? Okay.
I was gonna say like 3.5. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
It was like, to me, it was not a 5.
No.
But also, like, I feel like a 3 is too low. So I feel like it's 3.5 or maybe a 4. But even a 4 feels maybe too high.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like it's in between like liked and loved it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Because here's my reasoning. I love Emily Henry. She is one of my favorite authors. Yes. Really can do no wrong in my eyes.
No.
However, Happy Place is one of my absolute favorite books.
Favorites.
And to me, and I almost feel bad saying this, but I was like almost expecting a book that I would love as much as Happy Place, which is my own fault. Yeah. I was too hyped. And I liked this book a lot.
Yeah. I think I wasn't because we read People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read, and I was like, it could be. Yeah. To me, those aren't as good as Happy Place.
Okay.
To me. Yeah. So I was like, okay, it could be anywhere in there. I still think this is so good.
Oh, yes.
Like
I loved it.
Yes.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think just in comparison to like even Beach Read and Happy Place, I liked them, I would say.
Maybe a little bit more. I agree. Although I feel like compared to even other romances, sometimes I like these more because it's Emily Henry. You know? I feel like she honestly needs her own rating system.
Yes.
Because
ooh, yes.
Yeah, because it's like it's just hard to if you compare this to like the book that I'm reading right now, it's called like Built to Last. I don't remember the author, but it's fine. Yeah. And I would consider that like a 3. But like if I'm comparing that to, I'm almost done with it. I have like 30 minutes left of it. But if I compare that to this, this is a 5 compared to that. Yeah. So it's like, well, then that's not fair to rate this. Yeah. Like a 3.5. Then I'm like, I should just at least make it a 4, probably. Yeah. I don't know. after this conversation, I feel like I'll have a better idea.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tough out here, you know?
Yeah. Okay. You get the summary.
I do the summary this time? Okay.
Wait. I gotta put the timer on because you only have 1 minute.
1 minuto. This one's kind of tough to explain.
I know.
I'm going to get tongue-tied.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, we open with Daphne, and she was just broken up with... Her fiance just dumped her.
Yes.
And he dumped her for his girl best friend.
Ooh.
After his bachelor party.
Yep.
The girl best friend went with him because they're best friends. Yeah. And then they decided they loved each other, and they each dumped their partners.
Yeah.
So Petra is the best friend's name. She dumped her boyfriend, Miles, and they lived together. She dumped him with a note.
Yes.
That sucks. So then... And Pete...
I'm going to turn the timer off because I like what you're doing. Go ahead.
Okay. So Peter was the fiance. He broke up with her. He came home and was like, hey, we're leaving. Mm-hmm. I'm leaving you.
And he said, I'll give you a week.
I'll give you a week to move your stuff out. We're going to go on a vacation. And I loved the inner dialogue there.
Yes.
And she was like, you get to go on this like fun little flirty vacation, and I'm going to move all my shit out and have to find somewhere to live in 1 week.
Yeah, because she had moved there for him.
Yes, and as crappy as I had the Peter conversation was, the conversation with the no conversation with Petra and Miles sucked way more.
Yeah,
because she literally left him a note
after living together.
After living together, that sucks. I think they were together for like 5 years.
Yeah,
that feels
a long
right.
time.
Anyways, so then Daphne talks to Miles, and she's like, hey, you need a roommate? Let's do this. So they end up moving in together, obviously like separate rooms. But then they get the invitation to they get the invitation to their wedding.
Yes.
They literally were invited to the wedding of Peter and Petra, the cheaters.
Yes.
Well, I don't even know if they cheated. They probably did something
yes.
that night.
No, he
did.
He was like, I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. He's like, well, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
We love
He's like,
each
one thing
other.
led to another.
Yeah. Okay, so the dumpers are getting married now. And they invited their exes. The audacity.
Literally.
The audacity. Oh! And so then Miles and Daphne go and get drunk. And then they decide to RSVP to the wedding because they're not going to take any shit. And I was like, yes. Yeah. Yes. And then Peter...
Even if it was just to make them panic about the fact that they were going.
Absolutely. Because you know that Petra and Peter just did it as a pity invite.
For sure.
And they never thought in a million years they'd say yes.
No.
And then they did. Am I supposed to be under a minute right now?
No.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. And then Peter again, another audacity to call Daphne and say, hey, like, you really don't have to come.
Which he's basically being like, why'd you say yes, even though I invited you?
Exactly.
Really?
And he's like, well, I just don't want you to be there alone. And she's like, well, I won't be. I will be with my boyfriend, Miles. I love it.
Spicy.
She's like, what is going on? I love the inner dialogue.
Yes.
She's like, shut up, shut up, shut up. And she's like, yes, I'm dating Miles. I just loved that. Anyways, and we all know Peter hates Miles. Like, he does not like him. He always throws him under the bus and calls him a loser. We hate him. We hate Peter.
Yep.
Peter's another name for wiener. We hate him. Okay, so... And then this ruse just continues on.
Yeah.
And they just, like, are fake dating in different circumstances. And I like that there wasn't a ton of contact with Peter and Petra throughout the book. There were very small little instances.
Yeah.
And I liked that. And I liked especially later when they finally see each other as the two couples. Daphne and Miles have had such a strong connection at that point.
Yeah.
And it's not just pretending.
No.
Now they're, like, actually really into each other. Yeah. Anyways, what all happens in this book? Okay. So then, obviously, as they're fake dating, it's not
sparks are starting
flying.
to...
And it's also not a typical fake dating where it's, like, constant dates in front of other people to pretend.
Yeah.
They, like, pretend a couple of times. Miles is just really friendly. Yeah. He's trying to convince her to stay in Michigan.
Basically to not run because she got dumped.
Because Peter owned everything. Oops. Her whole life was all about Peter.
Yeah.
The house that they bought was in his name. All of her friends were his friends.
What she ate.
What she did, everything. Yeah. And she had her whole life planned out. It was all due to whatever Peter wanted. Yeah. And so he's like, don't let him make you leave now. Or don't make him control where you live.
Yeah.
And she just like hasn't seen the merit of this town since they broke up.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to show you. Every Sunday, we're going to do something here in this town. I loved it.
I did
so
too.
much.
And it's so different than like just the normal, like how it came to be. Because honestly, at the beginning of the book, like I was like, because she talked about how he just like basically was like in his room
smoking weed.
Like the whole house smelled like weed.
Yeah.
She talked about like his like he wasn't like he
Which
just didn't look like he was thriving in life.
Definitely not,
because he had gotten dumped, obviously.
Yeah.
But when I first started reading it, obviously I read like the inside cover, so I knew that like her and Miles would probably. I
didn't want to know anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, is she gonna be with this guy? Like it doesn't seem like he, because it just seemed like he was literally just like existing in his room.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it wasn't like that first where it's like, ooh.
Yeah. It was
he's so like attractive to me.
Right.
Yeah.
But then
then there was like a friendship too.
It was
like they were friends first almost.
Yes.
While pretending, and then there was just that great foundation.
Agreed.
Where they found love.
I love a fake dating, but I really liked, this felt more, again, it's Emily Henry. It felt more realistic than actual fake dating, because there were just a couple of times that they did this rather than weekly dates. Well, I mean, it was a weekly date, but like it was as friends, and then there were just random times when they would kind of pretend a little bit. Yeah. But it was like rarely that they were actually pretending. It was more of like in words they were telling people that they were dating, basically. I just really liked that.
I did too.
It felt more realistic to me.
Yeah. How about the big conflict here when Peter comes back and he's like, Daphne, like Petra and I broke up. I actually want to be with you.
Oh, I was
the audacity.
I was
of
so
this
glad
man.
though that happened.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I was so happy.
For sure.
Like, I don't want them to stay together. Though.
And I thought they would.
I did too.
I really thought
they'd be like, "Well, you're welcome because we got you two together. By dumping you."
Yeah.
Oh, I was so happy they did not.
So they
stay
broke
together.
up. But during this time, Miles had kind of been like MIA, and she's like, "Where is he?" And this is when they had already been together and stuff. So she's like, "Oh my gosh." Well, then Peter butthole was like, yeah, he's with Petra right now, helping her move
out.
So he caused all these mind games and then was like, let's just get back together. And I loved it. How basically she was like,
no,
hell no.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And she was like so nice about it though.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't want to hurt you, but like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. And like, even if I'm not going to be with him, I'm not going to be with you.
Yeah.
Loved that.
Now, I was like, Miles, don't even go help her.
I agree.
Because she wasn't helpful to you. And she was not nice to you.
And left you
But he's so kind.
He is so kind, but he does explain it later. At first I was like, okay, there's no reason, there's no world in which you should go help her do this.
Right.
But he said she called crying and he thought something horrible had happened. And then he went. And then probably once he was there, he felt like he had to kind of help. So I liked that way better than him dropping everything to go help her.
Yes.
Especially to blow Daphne off.
Yes. I also liked how he was like, yeah, once I got there, like I realized it wasn't great. So he just switched her cars and was like, you can use the truck.
Goodbye. Yes. Loved that.
And then we find out too, he was also gone because he was going to rip her dad a new one for how he had just been a shitty dad to her.
That broke my heart.
Yes.
I really liked that development with her dad and the relationship there because so she grew up with her mom. It was like a single mom situation, and dad was just in and out of her life and just not present, never came when he said he would, always would leave early and then just like bring her presents, and she felt like she found her she's a librarian. She found her love for libraries at a young age because her dad would like take her there and she felt like he was doing that just to kind of pawn her off on other people while he flirted with the librarian, which it sounds like he was doing that, but also he viewed it in a different way. We find out. But then he comes, unannounced to her apartment and brings his now wife. Which loved Starfire. At first I was like, we're gonna hate Starfire. Did you hate her?
I didn't hate her, but I was just like, this is odd.
Oh, she's weird for sure. But also like I thought that they were gonna mend the relationship.
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
So it made me sad that it wasn't. I was like, oh, this is actually special. I thought maybe she was gonna find out her dad was actually not a piece of shit. And that maybe the mom had like meddled and like was like, don't come around.
Yeah.
I thought that's what was going to happen.
Okay.
I'm glad that didn't, because she had such a good relationship with her mom.
Yeah.
But I'm
and also
still
in the
sad.
end, she was strong with her dad, and she was basically, I remember like during her one thing, she was like, I don't have time for this, like, and basically told him to like kick rocks.
Absolutely.
Didn't she say, I'll call you when
I'll call you when it's convenient
when
for
it's
me.
good for me. Yeah.
And she said, I'm not trying to hurt you, but you were a shitty dad.
Mm-hmm.
And
get him, Dad.
Said all the stuff that she had been feeling her whole life, and like, I was never a priority. Something would always come along that was better than me.
Yeah.
And that just hurt my whole life. And now I'm like messed up in the head because I think I have to be this specific thing or people will walk away from me, which is all of the reason with her and Miles. Yeah. She felt like he was picking something else over her. Yeah. Which I will say, it felt a little two-sided there, or hypocritical, because she had just done this to her friend.
True.
Which also loved that relationship.
Yeah, she made a friend.
Yes. Yeah. Which it makes sense still, because that's still something she's dealing with in her head. Yeah. But like knowing how nice and kind Miles is, you would feel like you'd give him the benefit of the doubt. But also she's been hurt so like her entire life by her dad. Yeah. So it does make sense. Yeah. But yes, I was sad that that whole thing ends up being kind of crappy. But I feel like it's hopeful to look forward. Yeah. That like maybe he will change his ways. Right. Because she finally said how she's been feeling. Yeah. Because I feel like he does care about her, but I feel like he's more of like an in the moment guy. Yeah. I mean, 1,000%. Because like while they're there, he might have been blowing somebody else off to be there, which is not a good trait. But I think he does love her, but he's just caught up in life. Yeah. And obviously was a shitty dad. But yeah. I loved, the relationship with Ashley. Yeah. That was really cool.
It was cool.
I liked it because she had been working at this library for a year already. Yeah. And wasn't making friends with anyone because of her childhood. She was used to moving all the time. She doesn't want to like put roots down to just have them ripped away. Yeah. And which kind of surprised me because she was planning to stay there. Right. Still, obviously, like a habit she picked up of like not letting anybody get too close, not letting anybody in. And then also, it didn't seem like she wasn't really giving her the vibes of like, hey, I want to be your friend. Right. Which Ashley says is because Ashley just got divorced. And she was like, you're in your happy engagement bubble. I don't want to be with you. I loved that relationship. And she finally like has a friend. Yeah. And that made me so happy.
And Ashley was pretty like snarky too.
I liked her.
Yeah.
I liked
and
her
she like to me, it was like, I don't need a friend, but like, okay. Yeah.
And then, but I do think that it was good that they got together because I think it was good for Ashley too. Yeah. And the conflict between those two, that sucked.
It did.
I felt like Ashley was way overreacted, which she said. She said she overreacted.
I could see like how it would be really hurtful, but at the same time too, it's like, I feel like good things were happening.
Good things were happening.
But Ashley wasn't a part of that, so that would feel hurtful.
Yeah, it was a bit of a miscommunication, but at the same time, if you're the person that did that, you would feel like, well, I'm just like making up excuses. Yeah. But like she had this, Daphne had this huge emotional thing with her dad. He left. Yeah. It was this whole thing. And then Miles.
He took her to his favorite beach.
Yes. And then they didn't have So she was like emotionally really drained and had not written it on her calendar.
Yes. Which was very
important. But it's good because she's more of living in the moment.
Yes.
But then she forgot because it wasn't on her calendar. So
I feel like it was blown out of proportion more than it needed to be. Although I do understand how she would be hurt there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I loved how that got resolved because she just went to her house and painted. I don't know. I loved that. Yeah. And I liked the poker night group, all the old people. That's fun.
The senior prom.
Oh my gosh, yes, the senior prom. I'm gonna talk the whole time. The senior prom is great, and they got all dressed
and it was like not what she was expecting at all. She thought, she was like, "Why are we going to a prom? Like it's not. It's the middle of the summer."
Literal seniors,
and they get there, actual seniors. I would love to do that.
That would be fun.
I think it would be such a good time.
That would be really fun. I bet they do something like that.
Or we should do it.
We're gonna plan a senior citizen prom for the seniors in our neighborhood.
Yeah. No, I really did like that part. And it also, like, just anything that Miles did, I really liked. I feel like he was just a really great guy.
Really thoughtful.
Yeah.
I really liked him, his character a lot. And I feel like he helped Daphne a ton.
Yeah. And then he, went and ripped her dad a new one when, honestly, they hadn't even, I know like he knew he was like in love with her.
Yeah.
But it's not like they had been together so long where like most people would go and like actually talk to someone's family.
Absolutely.
I feel like most people would be like, okay, screw you, like leave her alone. But he actually went and was like, no.
Yes.
You know, and like told him about himself.
And she was hurt because she thought that he was just like off somewhere. And then he came back and gave her a box of fudge.
Yeah.
You know, and so she felt like that's what you're doing. And it felt again just like what her dad did to her. Where
Megan's
he would.
Almost here.
Megan is?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
She's 2 miles away.
Okay. Yeah. They end up getting together.
Yeah,
it's
they get
so
together.
sweet.
They tell each other they love each other. And my favorite part of it was she was like, yeah, I'm going to get my own place. And she was going to be independent.
I loved that because I feel like
Yes.
a lot of times, like in
They
this
just jump
situation,
right in.
I would have just moved in with him.
Oh, for
you know,
sure.
Like,
they already live together.
exactly. It's way easier, best financially, honestly. But I just was really happy for her character in that moment because it's like she already did this with Peter. She already did this, but she's like, you know what? I'm going to stay here regardless if we're together or not. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't love you because I do.
Yeah.
And I want to be together. But I'm going to take care of myself first.
Yeah.
And then you're coming along with me, pal.
Yep. But then they bought a house.
A year later. Yeah. That was really
I
sweet.
loved it. I thought it was
that.
really good. Like, because obviously that wouldn't have lasted forever if she was like, no, I don't want to live with you. You know, like they needed to have growth in that area, I feel like. But one of my favorite things about the book was the first page versus the last page.
Me too. I teared up.
Okay.
I know that's crazy, but I did.
Yeah. So in the first page, she talks about how like she's a librarian and she loves stories, but she's never good at telling her own stories because she like fumbles over the details and like, and then Peter would like basically
their story of how they met.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she always said, I liked how Peter ended up telling it. But in the end, it talks about how they're telling, who are they telling?
Her family.
Her family, how they,
the Barb and
yes,
the
that's who it
Lavender
is.
ladies.
Yes. They're telling them like how it all started. And he was like, oh, funny story. And then he looks at her to tell the story.
So sweet.
I picked up on that immediately and I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah. It was,
and it's like the littlest detail,
it was
but
the
it
littlest
means so
detail. I loved
much.
it. And and he goes, well, it's actually a funny story. That's where the title comes from.
Yes. And then he just
loved
looks
it.
over at her.
And
like,
because he knows that she loves to say it. It's so sweet.
We love a man who lets us talk.
I know. I loved it.
I loved that part.
What was your favorite part of the book?
Probably that.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved the readathon. Thought that was really sweet, especially because it was kind of building to that.
Yeah.
And I loved the lavender farm.
Yes.
Oh, because she sees Peter.
Yeah.
Panic, and she rips him a new one because he's trying to shit all over Miles.
Yep.
And then she goes and absolutely makes out with him right against the car. Oh.
In front of him.
In
And
front
then
of
I
Peter.
liked how they talked about after
He's
one of them was like, is he still there? And she looks at him like he had been gone and they hadn't even noticed.
Loved it.
You know he went running out of there.
I loved it so much. Oh my gosh.
So, okay. Maybe
4 stars. I really liked this book.
Yeah.
The characters are so good. Emily Henry is literally
She can do no wrong.
She's a genius.
I'd love to meet her.
She lives in Cincinnati, so I feel like, do you know that?
No.
Yes, she spends most of her time in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the part of Kentucky just beneath it.
Okay.
We should go to Cincinnati and like, I bet she does book signings or like, she's maybe not. She's such a big author, but I feel like she probably does
we're going to
some
figure
stuff.
it out.
We should definitely keep an eye out for that. Also, Shane lives in Cincinnati, so like, you know, we could like do a double thing. We could go see Shane, go see Emily.
I like it.
Boom.
I like it.
Emily, we love you so much. Please
Big
keep
fans.
writing books. Please
Never
keep
stop.
writing. Oh my gosh. And then also, I know I think she's written a couple of young adult books,
Okay.
but I don't remember.
We need to look.
I might be thinking of somebody else.
Okay.
I also still haven't read Book Lovers. Have you read Book Lovers?
I have.
What would you rate all of her books? Like, what would be your top to the bottom for you?
Okay. Well, Happy Place, number 1. Number 2, my gut is saying People We Meet on Vacation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's surprising me.
3, Beach Read. Those 2 might switch back and forth.
Because I thought, you didn't like People We Meet as much. Or was it Beach Read? It doesn't matter. I was just trying to think back to our conversation. Stick with your gut. Don't let me influence you.
2 People We Meet on Vacation, 3 beach read, 4 last book lovers. But I did like it.
Wait, what about this one? Funny story.
Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Happy Place.
I don't like it.
Some could be even. Some could be even.
I would say People We Meet on Vacation, beach read, and Funny Story would be like
even.
Yes.
Okay. That's funny.
And then book lovers, I did like it, but it wasn't.
I think that's either people love beach read or book lovers, or like it's their favorite, or it's like a 3.
Yeah,
I feel like there's not
like
really
it's probably a 3,
an in between.
Yeah, I think it was a 3.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would.
What about you?
I would be Happy Place. Oh, I did love People We Meet. I
did too.
I feel like I go back and forth again with beach read and People We Meet on Vacation. I think part of the reason I love People We Meet so much is because Mitchell and I are literally Poppy and Alex.
Yeah.
But if we wouldn't have been those characters, I think I would have liked it less.
That's what I was going to say. I loved their characters.
Yeah.
But I didn't like some of the stuff in the book.
I know. But if I'm really
to
thinking
reread them.
fondly, I think more fondly of that than I do beach read.
Yeah.
Only because of those characters. And I do. I want to reread all of them.
I actually wanted to talk to you about this. I was
Yes.
thinking about it on the way here.
What?
I would love to take like a month this summer and reread all of our favorites that we did.
Wonderful.
And then maybe we could do an episode like, okay,
reminiscing.
We've read all these things. We went back and read our favorites. What are we thinking now?
I love that. That's a great idea. I really like that. Also, I want to reread stuff so I can, highlight. Because I always want to highlight. There were many times in this book where I was like, oh, I want to highlight that, but I didn't have one like by me. Yeah. And getting up to get one is absolutely out of the question.
Oh, for sure.
So I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Yeah, we could do that. That's a great idea. And like, we just pick like a certain amount and just like go in. Yeah. I also still want to do a summer series.
Yes, me too.
Okay.
So we'll have to think about it. Okay.
We gotta get started.
Megan's here and it's time for the birthday party.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna get this edited so fast. Right now. Skip the party. Just kidding. Never. Okay.
Okay.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.